Welcome to round 3 of 3, the Allenberg Racing School's Grand Prix from WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, a rerun, so to speak, of Friday evening's race, which had some technical difficulties. And with that being the case, we're doing a complete redo of the event here from WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. So welcome, everyone. On behalf of the Allenberg Racing Schools, my name is Rick Radijek. I want to thank our sponsors, Amalgata Watches. Right off the top, Amalgata Watches bring affordable and high-quality watches to people who live for motorsport, honoring the past by racing into the future. And the winner of the title of the Allenberg Racing Schools Grand Prix Series will receive a Tifosi Stuttgart branded watch. Also want to thank Cambox Mecca for their help through this 3-race championship as well. Cambox Mecca, also one of the proud partners of the Allenberg Racing Schools at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Cambox Mecca, the new generation of helmet cameras specifically designed for motorsport activities. More and more racers are using it to either share their race highlights or as a coaching tool like at Allenberg Racing Schools. Cambox has been designed in order to offer 5 unprecedented benefits to its user: positioning, safety, lightness, design. It's also very discreet. Each winner of the 3 races in this Allenberg Racing Schools Grand Prix receives a Cambox Mecca Model Mark II, which has 2 million pixels of resolution. And the champion, in addition to the Amalgata watch that we mentioned just moments ago, will also receive a Cambox Mecca Model Mark III, which is 5 million pixels of resolution. Please visit Allenberg Racing on social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, for more information and links to Cambox Mecca and to locate an available discount code to use at checkout. I want to remind you to do the same thing for Amalgata Watches, because Amalgata Watches is offering a racer pricing code at checkout. Check that out as well. So this is a 30-minute practice session. 30-minute practice session here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca under beautiful clear skies. And we're happy to be back here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, where this will be the conclusion of our 3-race championship. So this is Thomas Boniface. Car number 2 is Thomas Boniface. Boniface from New Plymouth, New Zealand. 16-year-old competitor, multi-time karting champ in New Zealand, raced in Australia as well, is Thomas Boniface, Black Machine. All of these cars are Formula 3 Dalaras, a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder power plant, naturally aspirated with 220 horsepower at 6,500 RPM. It's Thomas Boniface, and he's second quick at this point, right behind the 8 of Spencer Bucknam. Spencer Bucknam is currently quickest, and Bucknam just done a 118. There's Spencer. Blue and white machine, yellow helmet on Spencer Bucknam. Bucknam, Californian, son of Jeff Bucknam, lead instructors at the Ellenberg Racing Schools at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, grandson of the great Ronnie Bucknam from years past, raced at pretty much anything worldwide. He's the driver of the 8. The 4 car is Chase Outcut, Sorry about that. Chase Outcut is in the 4 car. And this is, whoa, we had a spinner right there coming out. That was Spencer Perot, I believe, that swapped ends. Anyway, Chase Outcut, New Jersey driver, this is 1 year of experience in iRacing. That's the 8 car of Bucknam that's just passing Outcut. They're trying to, as they're in turn 6. I think you want to damage your car during practice. You'd had no points for that. Anyway, so Outcut driving the 4 machine here on this Sunday at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. The aforementioned Spencer Perot is in the 17. And Spencer Perot, Canadian driver, hails from Calgary. And I don't recall who the Flames will be playing in the playoffs. As the NHL to start their playoff season, Stanley Cup playoff season, the field of 24. And dates have not been announced yet. But anyway, regardless, that's Spencer Perot in the 17 car. Again, driver from Calgary, year of experience in iRacing, also karting, his background. And he's currently 5th fastest in the session. The 22 machine is Charles Quiros. Quiros of Tucson, Arizona, shifter kart racer. And he's in the 22 car, the blue Delar, right there, heading through tracking out of turn number 5, run up the hill to turn number 6, and then the steep climb up to the corkscrew out of turn number 6 on the Ray Hall Straight is Charles Quiros in that 22 car. This is the Cambox Mecha Cam view. As you can see, Quiros fighting his way with the wheel there a bit. A little bit of oversteer through turn number 10. And the left-hander here, which is the final turn on the 2.238 mile circuit of WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. From the corkscrew, the elevation change down to turn number 2, which is the Andretti hairpin. It's about 180 feet. The 9 car is Mikel Kalugan. And Kalugan's currently 7th quickest in the session. He's in the 9 machine, currently 7th in the points. Fremont, California driver is Mikel Kalugan. He's in that bright red Delara. Heading up the Ray Hall straightaway is Mikel Kalugan. And right behind him is Aiden Yoder. Aiden Yoder in the 44 car. Yoder 6th in the points as we come to the finale here. U.S. Formula 4 racer, young Californian, 17 years old. And looks like Kenny Schmid has sent us a message. That's tough. Kenny Schmid won't be able to make it for this evening's race. Kenny's 6th in the points from Denver, Colorado. So that's unfortunate that Kenny won't be with us, but thanks for the update, Kenny. Do appreciate that. This is the 110 of Chris Roberts. Chris Roberts in the 110 from San Diego, California, video game designer specialist, is Chris Roberts, 6th in points with 84, tied with Aiden Yoder. So Chris Roberts in that 110 machine, currently 5th in the session. The 3 car is Adam Golightly. And Adam Golightly, the driver from Texas, this being his first round of the 3-race championship that started at Sebring International Raceway 2 weeks ago, last Friday, for the first round of the championship. Series then went on to Lime Rock Park in Lakeville, Connecticut, and then here to WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Cam Box Mecca. Cam view of Adam Golightly in that 3 car. Golightly currently 9th in the session. And there's Ricardo Arruda, who's had a misunderstanding with the wall. And Arruda in that 11 car is Ricardo Arruda. So Arruda having a misunderstanding with the wall. He's on to pit road, and he'll be back on circuit shortly. Just finishing up a race from Watkins Glen, we understand. Makes the trip across the country. Unable to get enough heat in those tires. A couple misunderstandings with the wall. The 21 of Bruno Canero. So Bruno Canero is in his traditional 21 machine. The driver that from Sao Paulo, Brazil, 20-year-old competitor, resides in Colorado now. And 4 years of iRacing experience, currently 4th in the championship battle with 88 points. And that is Bruno Canero. So Chase Alcott on pit road here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Let's see, we've seen 3, 4. And Maximilian Bui in the 665. Bui from Orange County, California. Carter, University of Southern California grad, 2 years of racing in the iRacing genre. Bruno Canero is no Colorado, Utah. So, Bruno, thank you. Thank you. We'll change that. At least someone's paying attention to my mistake, so I appreciate that. Thanks for the heads up. So Maximilian Bui in the 665, we've had 12 cars that have presented themselves thus far here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Hoping to have 15 competitors here on this late afternoon on the West Coast, evening on the East Coast. And quickest in this practice session, as we're 16 minutes into it, is Spencer Bucknam, a 1:16.824. And he just did that lap, as is Bucknam. Thomas Boniface, second quick with a 1:17.42. Aiden Yoder, third fastest in the 44. Maximilian Bui in the 665. Chase Alcott in the 4 machine. Chris Roberts, Mikel Kalugan, Spencer Perot, Adam Golightly, Charles Quiros, Ricardo Arruda, and Bruno Canero. As we had Bucknam having an on and off at turn 6, and he made it all the way to the tire wall and destroyed the right rear suspension on pit road and back out onto the racetrack. So misunderstanding by Bucknam, and that turn number 6 is pretty tricky. You run up the hill out of turn number 5, and Bucknam in turn 6 now. This is where he went off course just one lap ago. You can see the streaks of rubber from that Bucknam incident. Now taking a look at the 9 of Mikel Kalugan. Mikel Kalugan of Fremont, California. And Kalugan making his way here around the circuit in practice. The 44 is Aiden Yoder, his outlap. He's going through, this is out the nose cam on the 44 car of Aiden Yoder into turn number 4, and then the round run straightaway down here into turn number 5. This is a shot from the Lansale Tigers blimp, piloted by Captain Clark Kent. I want to thank Clark Kent for all of his assistance here, piloting the Lansale Tigers blimp throughout this 3-race championship. Also want to thank Captain Penelope Sweeney for her work, as we're now on board with the Maлагata Watches chopper cam there. Here we are. The Maлагata Watches chopper cam piloted by Captain Penelope Sweeney. Also, as we came onto the air, the Allenberg Racing School Stealth Bomber team, under the direction of Colonel John Winter, had their flyover at 52,000 feet in full stealth mode. Fans love that. We want to thank Colonel John Winter and his fine crew for the flyover just before the start of the festivities here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Again, all these competitors driving Dallara Formula 3 machines. This is Canaro in the 21 looking at the gearbox of the 8 car of, well, that wasn't the 8 car, sorry about that. I believe that was Mikhail Kalugan is in the red machine, and he spins him. Ay, ay, ay. So Canaro heads down through, that's turn number 1, the run down to turn number 2. And this is the roll hoop cam with Bruno Canaro, who Friday had a good evening, had a good time at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. We're happy that he's part of the festivities, as all the competitors here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Heading down toward turn number 5. Maybe we can take the Cambox Mecha Cam view as we run up the hill here. Here it is, the Cambox Mecha Cam view of Bruno Canaro through turn number 6 and the run up the Bobby Rahal Straight into the corkscrew, the famous corkscrew that is very iconic part of the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. This is the rainy curve, turn number 9. It seems to go on and on and on down the hill into turn number 10. And Canaro spins as he comes out of turn number 10, but it is just practice. So Canaro gets back onto pit road, is Bruno Canaro. And this is the 665 of Maximilian Bouy. And Bouy currently 5th fastest in this practice session. He heads down into the final corner, turn number 11 here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. I want to thank everyone at the Allenberg Racing Schools and the partners for the Allenberg Racing Schools: Lansale Tires, Hawk Performance Brakes, Cambox Mecha, Saybelt, and Bell Helmets for all of their help. As Utah's Bruno Canaro, not happy with himself thus far, as we have 8 minutes remaining in this practice session for the Allenberg Racing Schools Grand Prix. Again, the championship opened up at, and here's a spinner, and that was Bouy, that tricky turn number 6. So Maximilian Bouy, easy there, tough guy. As here's the replay in real time from the replay booth as Maximilian Bui comes to the attention of his crew on pit road. So we got some tire tracks out there from the off by Bucknam a few laps ago, and that one by Maximilian Bui. This is Thomas Boniface, the driver from New Zealand, and he has some difficulty as well up in the corkscrew in his black machine. Handsome green helmet there by the young New Zealander. This has been a lot of fun, these three races. Again, started the championship at Sebring, where Zach Berg scored the victory. Haven't seen Zach on course here yet, as the podium there was Berg took the win over Jochen Replost and Phil Dennis. Hope to see Phil Dennis out a little bit later on as well here. Lime Rock Park, the winner there was Nick Short, and Nick Short really swept that weekend. Fastest in qualifying, won his heat race, and won the race. And then here on to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Looking from the Lansdale Tires blimp, piloted by Captain Clark Kent. That's turn number 6, turn number 10, I should say, into turn number 11. And then the climb up the slight hill here on the front straightaway, as we have about 5.5 minutes remaining in this practice session, this 30-minute practice session. Coming up next will be qualifying, and then on to Heat Racer 2, and finally our feature event scheduled for 19 laps here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Again, everything in racing is provisional until it's official. So we're now 5 minutes remaining in the session. Bucknam quickest. You're on board with Spencer Bucknam now from his view from the cam box Mecha Cam, heading toward the corkscrew. And that's Bruno Canero in the 21 right in front of him. He looks like Canero had a little bit of trouble heading into the corkscrew, but Bucknam and Canero both quick drivers and quick at this racetrack. Bucknam quickest, Thomas Boniface second quickest, the New Zealander, Aidan Yoder, Maximilian Bui, Chris Roberts, Chase Alcutt, Kel Kalugan, Ricardo Arruda, Adam Golightly, Spencer Perot, and Charles Quiros, rounding out your 12 competitors thus far here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. You think with that tire walkover bridge that WeatherTech would step up and put the sponsorship on that thing. Anyway, budgetary constraints, most likely. Here's Bucknam, that looking out the back of the 8 machine toward the 21 of Canero as they run up the Ray Hall Straight into the corkscrew. This is from the Amalgado Watches chopper cam, as has been the case since Sebring. Captain Penelope Sweeney at the controls. That's Bucknam. A 1:16.824 being his quickest lap of the session. He does a 1:17.7 that time. So about 9/10 of a second off his quickest time of this practice session. That being Spencer Bucknam. This is Ricardo Arruda. Arruda currently 10th in this practice session. That's the Andretti hairpin there. Turn number 2. This is the run down into turn number 3. Look from the Lansdale Tires blimp. As an off-course excursion is Ricardo Arruda. just as we take a peek at what he's doing on the race course, heading toward turn number 5. The right-hander that's seen much action over the years, out of turn number 5 up the hill to the left-hander of turn number 6 that's had a couple off-course excursions already in this practice session. Up the Ray Hall straight, looking out the nose of Ricardo Arruda into the corkscrew, plunging down through the corkscrew, and the run to turn number 9, which is the rainy curve. Right here is the rainy curve. Continue downhill into turn number 10 as Bruno Canero heads to pit road, and then this left-hander second gear corner of turn number 11. This track that opened in 1957, back then it was 1.9 miles long, was extended in 1998, added the infield section, making it the 2.238 mile course. As years ago, you go into the Andretti, what's now the Andretti hairpin, and you'd go straight and then come back onto the track there at the current turn number 5 area of the circuit. So under a minute remaining in this practice session for the Berg Racing School's Grand Prix Championship, round 3 of 3 here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. This being the circuit where it all happens for Berg Racing Schools. All the programs for Berg Racing Schools take place here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, including a 3-day program. They have a 2-day program, a 1-day program, and go to Berg Racing Schools.com for more information as the checkers are out on this practice session for Berg Racing School's Grand Prix here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. So next up will be qualifying. And qualifying, 6 minutes of qualifying. And drivers getting 3 laps of lone qualifying. The first car onto the circuit is the 3 machine of Adam Golightly. Golightly, driver from Texas, just started in iRacing only a couple weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I believe it is, according to my notes, is Adam Golightly. And understand that the 45 car of Zach Berg has signed in at the back gate. So Zach Berg is on board to run here this weekend, or this weekend. This tonight's race, I should say. Berg second in the points behind Phil Dennis. Berg with 91 points scored the win at Sebring. Back a couple weeks ago was Zach Berg, one of our Canadian competitors. This is Spencer Bucknam. I see it's listed as Jeff, but it's, I believe it's Spencer, Jeff's son. The 8 car of Jeff Bucknam on board with Bucknam down in the Andretti hairpin. The left-hander here at turn number 2. Then you make your way through this little sweeper here into turn number 3. Underneath the walkover bridge into turn 4. Run under the Bosch spark plugs walkover bridge into turn 5. Nice view there, Bucknam through turn number 5. And then you go uphill here on the run to turn number 6. Now, in the practice session, Bucknam had a misunderstanding with the wall here. Uses all of the road there, as you can see from the nose cam, from the Bucknam machine up the Ray Hall straight and into the corkscrew area, the plunge through the corkscrew area. Mr. Director is having a great time changing all the multiple cameras we have mounted on this Stellara through turn number 10, looking out the cam box, Mecha Cam view, up into fifth gear, down into first. He goes into first gear and then the run through the gearbox and up the main straightaway to complete a qualifying lap. And at the top of the charts is Jeff Bucknam. Here's Zach Berg, currently second in the points. Nice to see the Canadian on board here in his traditional white and aqua trimmed machine is Zach Berg. So he's in the 45 out on the circuit. So currently in this qualifying session, you've got Bucknam on top. Then it's Maximilian Bui in the 665. Mikel Kalugan in the 9. Chase Alcott in the 4. And Adam Golightly in the 3. And just as I say that, Chris Roberts in the 110 jumps to second place. Does Chris Roberts. Alcott on 2. Right here's Chris Roberts in the 110. As he getting another lap in anger here in qualifying. Is traditionally points awarded for qualifying in this championship, Allenberg Racing School's Grand Prix here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for the final round of the championship. Up the Rahal Straight is Chris Roberts. Chris Roberts, who is currently 6th in the points battle, coming to the final round from San Diego, California. We mentioned that he's a video game designer. I also understand he's won multiple autocross races in the San Diego region of the Sports Car Club of America. So, nice job there. Here's the 17 of Spencer Perot, Carter out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. As Spencer Perot, as we have a little over a minute remaining in this qualifying session, is Spencer Perot. Have a spinner here. That's Adam Golightly, who is off course. And that was in turn number 4. So Aiden Yoder, Ricardo Arruda have not taken a time yet. And Charles Quiros, the Tucson, Arizona driver, and he has put in a qualifying effort. Here is Maximilian Bui, who's stopping on course in the middle of the racetrack in turn 2. Meanwhile, Chris Roberts, as we're waiting the checkers to come out, and they are out now. Flagman Sal up on the flag stand. And we will have the qualifying results are thus: Spencer Bucknam, Bruno Canero, Zach Berg, Maximilian Bui, Thomas Boniface, Chris Roberts, Mikel Kalugan, Chase Alcott, Spencer Perot, Charles Quiros, Adam Golightly, Ricardo Arruda, and the 13th driver that has entered thus far, Aiden Yoder. Hoping to see Phil Dennis join us. Meanwhile, here's a heat race. And all 13 competitors taking part in this heat race, waiting for the balance of the field to join us.
I don't know if this will count for the championship because there's only...
As I don't see Bucknam on course yet.
Yeah, I think
wait for the lights to come up. Lights come up, and then they go dark.
I think Alan said we needed 15 to make it official.
So we're waiting until
Yeah,
See if
that's what I
Bucknam joins us.
Congrats.
There he is. So Bucknam on the pole. Needs some final adjustments to those belts and things of that nature. There are the lights. Lights are out, and we're away. And Bucknam disappeared momentarily. He's a sneaky young lad. But he's back in it, heading down in the Andretti turn, down the Andretti hairpin. It's Bucknam on the inside. Right behind him is Zach Berg, and that was the 21 of Bruno Canero in that 21 machine. So the run down into turn number 4, these three in a heavy battle here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Out the back of Bucknam, looking at Canero. Out the back of Canero, looking at Berg. And we're all over the place here with the cameras. As Canero in that 21, he now leads. And then it's Zach Berg in the 45 up the Rahal straightaway for the first time. First of 5 laps here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Bruno Canero out front. Then it's Zach Berg, Spencer Bucknam, Thomas Boniface, the New Zealand driver, is in the 4th position. Then it's Maximilian Bui and Spencer Perot. So down into the turn number 11 for the first of 5 laps is the 21 of Bruno Canero. Well, Canero, who was second quickest in qualifying, out front here in heat race number 1, lapping at a 1:23 on that first lap. So working lap number 2. Looking back at Bucknam there briefly, it's Canero, followed by Berg, followed by Bucknam, and then Boniface. Those 4 cars, off course, is the 17 of Spencer Perot. Now, Perot was running in the 5th spot, was Spencer Perot. Looked like he had contact with another one of the competitors. That's from the Lansale Tires blimp. And now we're back live, so to speak. Looking at the leader, Bruno Canero. Spencer Bucknam in that 2nd spot as through the corkscrew and down into the rainy curve as Canero leads. Then it's Bucknam, Berg, Bui, and Roberts. Alcutt and Perot, after their contact, both went to pit road. And that red machine, briefly, there was the 9 of Mikkel Kalugan. So Canero out front. Bucknam riding behind him, and then it's Zach Berg. Bui about a 1.5 behind those 3 as we're working lap number 3 of 5 here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Boniface, Outcut, and Perot all on pit road. Boniface is now back out onto the racetrack and is running as high as 30 was early, was Thomas Boniface, the young driver from New Plymouth, New Zealand, as Canero heads into the corkscrew in that 21 machine. This is out the back of Bruno Canero. Looking back at Bucknam. And Bruno Canero, here's your Cambox Mecha Cam view of the 21 of Bruno Canero. Canero leads, Bucknam 2nd, and Zach Berg is in 3rd. Working lap number 4 of this 5-lap heat race. And it's really these 3 cars have distanced themselves from the balance of the field. Farther back, Maximilian Bui, Chris Roberts, Aidan Yoder, Mikkel Kalugan, Adam Golightly, followed by Charles Quiros, Ricardo Arruda, Thomas Boniface, Chase Alcutt, and Spencer Perot, rounding out the 13-car field here in this heat race. Up the hill into the left-hander of turn number 6. Here's the Lansale Tires blimp shot, again piloted by Captain Clark Kent. Out the back of Zach Berg as Berg got around Bucknam, and he's now into the second spot. Meanwhile, Canero has extended his lead about 1.4 seconds as he comes out of turn number 11 and will be starting the final lap of this 5-lap heat race. That's out the Cambox Mecha Cam view of Spencer Bucknam in that 8 car. Down in the Andretti hairpin. Wide track there, a little bit different than what Berg took. Into turn number 3. Underneath the Cooper Tires bridge. As opposed to the Lansale Tires blimp. Lansale Tires being the official tire partner of Alan Berg Racing Schools. Bucknam runs out of turn number 6 and onto the Rahal straightaway, as that was Adam Yoder coming out of the pit lane area. Here's your blimp shot from through the corkscrew as Canero, Berg, and Bucknam, your top 3 through turn number 10. As let's see if we can have the finish of the race here. That's out the back of Maximilian Bui. Bruno Canero to the line. Flagman Sal waves the checkers. Well, maybe he didn't. But the race is still over. Bruno Canero takes the win over Zach Berg. Then it's Spencer Bucknam, Chris Roberts, Maximilian Bui, Mikkel Kalugan should finish in that 6th spot. He does. Then it's Adam Golightly, Charles Quiros, Aiden Yoder in the 9th position, Ricardo Arruda, Thomas Boniface, Chase Aldcutt, and Spencer Perot. That being your heat finishers. So nice job by Bruno Canero for taking the victory in heat race number 1. There's your results. 2-second win. 2-second win by Canero over Berg. Actually, it was less than that. It was 7/10 of a second is what it was. So again, thanks to Amaligato Watches for their help this year in Alan Berg Racing School's Grand Prix. The champion of the series will receive a Tavosi Stuttgart random watch for the Alan Berg Racing School's Grand Prix 3-race series. And winner of the race will receive a Cambox Mecha Mark II. Champion receiving a Cambox Mecha Mark III. So Canero takes the win of Heat Race 1, 7/10 of a second over Berg, Bucknam, Roberts, Bui, Kalugan, Golightly, and this will be coming up next on course will be another event. Arruda will be starting on the pole, and this will be the B main. And you'll have Ricardo Arruda on the pole, and away we go with the 11 of Ricardo Arruda, Charles Quiros, Mikkel Kalugan, Chris Roberts, Aiden Yoder, and the field heads down into turn number 2. We got a car upside down, 2 cars. Bucknam is one of them. And I believe it was that 8 machine that was upside down, had contact with the 45 of Berg. So Bucknam and Berg have a big carumbolage heading down into turn number 2 on that first lap. And we've got contact there. And it looked like Kalugan got into it with Golightly. So working lap number 1 of 5 of the B main here. as Ricardo Arruda leads in the 11. Then it's Charles Quiros, Aiden Yoder. Meanwhile, up in the corkscrew, you've got two cars. Bruno Canero is one of them that's involved. And the other is a black machine. I think that could have been Chris Roberts. So
Thomas, I had to avoid you like 3
Bent
times,
Wing
but
on
you
the
finally got me.
21 car. He has to come onto pit road is Bruno Canero. Meanwhile, Ricardo Arruda leads the B main over Aiden Yoder, Charles Quiros, Maximilian Bui, Spencer Perot, Chris Roberts, and Chase Alcott. Kalugan involved in an incident, as well as Bucknam, Berg, Boniface, and Golightly. Canero needs a new rear wing, so he came to the attention of his crew, and he's back out on course. Comes out in the 8th spot. Rest of the cars on pit road. So we have 8 cars running at this point, and the 22 of Charles Quiros with a spin. And that was at the exit of turn number 6, I believe. Meanwhile, your leader is Ricardo Arruda in the 11. Then it's Aiden Yoder, followed by Maximilian Bui, Spencer Perot, Chris Roberts, Chase Alcott, Charles Quiros, and Bruno Canero. So Arruda leads, does a 1:20 flat that time by. Yoder, though, is 1.3 seconds quicker in his 44 machine. That's Yoder in that black, red, and white machine that is a half a second back of Ricardo Arruda. And Arruda was in 11th position coming into the race here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. So that's out the gearbox cam of Ricardo Arruda. Aiden Yoder, Maximilian Bui, Spencer Perot, and Chris Roberts. As way off course, that's Aiden Yoder. As he was running down the leader, has misadventure at turn number 6. So Yoder just putting up the fastest lap of the race, and that's been eclipsed now by Chris Roberts. As Roberts now a 118.51 is the fastest on the racetrack. Working lap number 3 now, as that's out the nose of the 110 of Chris Roberts. Running in 5th, that's Spencer Perot right in front of him. This is your battle for 4th. That's the 665 of Maximilian Bui, who's about 2.5 seconds back of Ricardo Arruda in the 11. So working lap number 4 or 5 here, the B main at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. So Arruda leads over Bui by about 2 seconds. And then it's Aiden Yoder and Spencer Perot. This is Chris Roberts up at the corkscrew. In front of him is Spencer Perot. So this is your battle for 4th. Roberts into turn number 10. Let's see if we can take that Cambox Mecha Cam view of the 110 of Chris Roberts as he's side by side now with Perot as they come to the line. This will be the completion of lap 4 for those two competitors, working the final lap of the race. Roberts on the inside, down in the Andretti hairpin. The left-hander, which is turn number 2 at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Heading toward the right-hander here of turn number 3. Right there it is. That's out the front of Spencer Perot. And then you go through 4 into turn number 5. Maximilian Bui we're on board now with. And that's 665. And just in front of him is the 11 of Ricardo Arruda. So big run here. Oh, he had a big run, was Bui. And Arruda leads over Yoder and Bui. As these three continue to battle, we're working the final lap of this B main as it's Arruda, Yoder, Bui. Your battle for the win here in the B main through turn number 10 and heading down into turn number 11. Going to be difficult to make the pass here. Got a good track. Oh, we got the spinner. Looked like Bui spun. Handing second to Robert. So Arruda, not sure why we're taking that. And checkers are out. Arruda wins over Maximilian Bui. Then it's Chris Roberts, Chase Alcutt, Spencer Perot, your top 5 in the B main. So congratulations to Ricardo Arruda for scoring the win in the B main. Maximilian Bui and Chris Roberts, your podium for the B main. So,
Hello, drivers. This is Alan Berg. Just once again, thank you very much for taking part in our championship this season and coming back for today's race. Good luck to you all.
Thanks, Alan. So the B main is complete. As the
so I'm guessing this is going to be non-official, not counted.
Next up on course, I believe will be the feature, which should be 19 laps here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. So an exciting finish to the B main. Ricardo Arruda takes the win by 0.6 of a second over Maximilian Bui. Then it's Chris Roberts, Chase Alcutt, Spencer Perot, Aiden Yoder, Charles Quiros, Thomas Boniface, Bruno Canero, Spencer Bucknam, Zach Burke, Mikel Kalugan, Adam Golightly. So congratulations to those competitors. And starting on the pole for the feature event is the 8 of Spencer Bucknam, the 21 of Bruno Canero, Thomas Boniface in his black Dallara, Charles Quiros in the 22, Aiden Yoder, Spencer Perot, Chase Alcutt, Chris Roberts outside of row 4. Then it's Maximilian Bui as we're about ready to start the feature event, the final of Allenberg Racing School's Grand Prix. And the lights are out and Bucknam's away. Canero, will he tuck or will he try to go the outside? He tucks on Bucknam. And we'll see what happens in the Andretti hairpin this time, as we had a carambolage last time around from the Lansale Tires blimp. You see that Bucknam leads over the 21 of Bruno Canero. Got a car off course, and that looked, I think that could have been Arruda. Was that Arruda that ran? I think that was Arruda that ran off course. So it's Bucknam in the 8, the 21 of Bruno Canero. Then it's Thomas Boniface, Aiden Yoder, Chase Alcutt. Your top 5, lap number 1 of 19 of the feature event for today. As this being the final round of Allenberg Racing School's Grand Prix. We'll see if anyone can double up on their wins. Zach Burke won the first race of the season at Sebring. Nick Short, who's not with us today, won at Lime Rock Park. And here the finale at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Had a spinner there coming out of turn number 11, back out onto the racetrack. Not sure who that was. Meanwhile, Boniface has gotten around Canero. So Thomas Boniface, the young New Zealander, happy to have him on board for all 3 races of Allenberg Racing School's Grand Prix. This is Aiden Yoder in the 44. Yoder running in fourth. Then it's Zach Burke in the 45. And we're working lap 2 of 19 from the Lansale Tires blimp. That's out of turn number 6 in the run up the Rahal straightaway. Dramatic shot here as we approach the infamous corkscrew area. Plunge down there. Bucknam's about a second and a half out front of Boniface. So Bucknam leads by about a second and a half over Boniface. Then it's Bruno Canero, Aiden Yoder, Zach Burke, Chase Alcott, and Charles Quiros being your top 7. Oh, into the final. Nice. We got contact. Canero is off. And I believe that was the New Zealander, the 2 car of Boniface that he had. So Boniface and Canero had contact in turn number 11. So Canero on pit road, coming to the attention of his crew. Ay, caramba, we got a car off. And a car off at turn 4. That was Quiros, I believe. So meanwhile, Bucknam way out in front now. Bucknam's out by 3 seconds over Zach Burke, who's running in second. But big battle here. And that's Bui in the 665. Kalugan is in that. Perot, Golightly, and Roberts. Those 5-6 drivers in that big battle for the 6th spot. So nice battle here. This is from the Malagata Watches chopper cam, piloted by Captain Penelope Sweeney. So Bruno Canero not happy in any way, shape, or form from that message that we're seeing on the screen, but racing's racing, so to speak. And he was in that battle with Thomas Boniface, and he lost that. Meanwhile, Bucknam 3, almost 4 seconds up the road. That's the 10 and the 17. The 10 and the 17, the 110 and 17, Chris Roberts and Spencer Perot, they're fighting over that 8th position. And through turn number 4, we'll see how far Canero, did he lose a lap? I don't think he lost a lap. So, can he make a big charge? As he has to do qualifying laps, lap after lap after lap, as he's about a minute back. Obviously, a full course yellow would help him, but they're so rare, especially here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. And off and on by the 665, was that? No, that was the 2 of Boniface again. So Boniface had an off. And in front of him is Maximilian Bui. Meanwhile, a message in code up on the screen there. Bucknam leads in the 8. Then it's Zach Burke, Chase Alcott, Aiden Yoder, as Zach Burke looking to win the championship in Allenberg's Racing School's Grand Prix, as Phil Dennis not with us here today. Most unfortunate. So that's Thomas Boniface in the middle of this battle. We got Boniface, we got Bui in the 665, Boniface in the 2, the 110. So the black machine, that's Charles Quiros on pit road. Not sure what that was. 2 of the black Dolares through the corkscrew. This is from the chopper cam, the Malagata Watches chopper cam. Malagata Watch will go to the champion of the series, as well as a Cambox Mecha Mark III. Mark II to be awarded to the race winner. here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. So Bucknam's lead, 4.2 seconds last time by. Working now lap number 6 of 19. As two of the black machines side by side, that's Yoder and Roberts. And looking out the back of the 44 of Aiden Yoder, as Bruno Canero, he is a lap down. As Quiros looks like he's out of it. So we have 12 cars running. Canero is a lap down. So tough break by Bruno Canero, who had contact with the two of Thomas Boniface in turn 11 early in the race, and it has certainly cost him, as that's Boniface Roberts, the two black machines. Canero just got around the 44 of Aiden Yoder, but keep in mind that 21 is a lap down. And Canero, who came into the final in 4th in the points, and he's running far back in the pack. So into the Andretti hairpin, and the cones go flying. One of them is stuck on the 2. So Mr. Excitement in this feature has been the 2 of Thomas Boniface, and he's off track. Big crash. So he must have broke something, Boniface did. And he's into the tire wall, as Boniface into the tire wall, as he had the incident with the Canero early in the event. Had an off-course excursion, and that was a big incident. So Boniface, now they can, because of the fast repairs on session, is that we get back out onto the circuit, and let's see if he's not out there. He's not out there. So meanwhile, Bucknam way out in front. His lead now over 5 seconds over Zach Berg. Berg looking awful good right now to win the championship. Then it's Chase Olcutt, Maximilian Bui, and Chris Roberts in the 110. Out the back of the 8, you can see there's no one in sight. Even from the blimp cam, there's nobody around. As Clark Kent having some fun here from the blimp of just picking off car after car, which is totally confusing your announcer, but that doesn't matter. No big whoop. So that's Canero in the orange and silver machine. The 44 in front of him is Aiden Yoder, who is running in the 6th spot, as these two cars. That's Yoder, who catches the curb, and he's going to make it all the way to the wall as well, and he breaks the right rear suspension. So Aiden Yoder has a big off, and cruising right now is Zach Berg. So Berg running in the 2nd spot, as he's well behind, about over 5 seconds behind Bucknam. But gotta say, the Canadian Zach Berg is in the catbird seat, here to win the championship. Chase Olcutt in the 4 car is 3 seconds back of Berg. Then it's 8 seconds back to Maximilian Bui. Chris Roberts, Mikkel Kalugan. Good battle between Perot and Golightly now on the racetrack for 7th. And that's the 17 there of Spencer Perot and the 3 of Adam Golightly. Ricardo Arruda, Aiden Yoder, Bruno Canero, Thomas Boniface is out of it after that big crash, and Quiros as well. Charles Quiros in the 22, he's out of it also. So Bucknam, 5.5 seconds up the road as we're working lap number 9 of 19. So, Mr. Director, if you could mute me for 1 second, I'd like to speak with you. So Bucknam's lead about 5.4 seconds that time by. But best battle on the racetrack now is between Perot and Golightly. The balance of the field is spread out, but Perot running in 7th, Canadian driver, and then Golightly is 8th. Perot from Calgary has made a lot of improvement. Here from Lime Rock, he missed the first race at Sebring, but Lime Rock and here has made a lot of improvement. So coming to grips with this Dallara here in Allenberg Racing School's Grand Prix, and word is that they see some more iRacing down the road is being discussed at the upper levels of the Allenberg Racing School's management of more iRacing series that might come about. I mean, it's great to have Amalagata watches on board. It makes it so wonderful to have prizes like the Amalagata watch that will go to season champion, the Tifosi Stuttgart, and remember to go to Allenberg Racing on social media to check out the racer pricing code at checkout and all the products from Amalagata watches at malagatawatches.com. Also, the fine folks at Cambox Mecca for all their help. Not only sponsoring the Cambox Mecca Cam View for all of the vehicles, but also for awarding a Cambox Mecca Mark II to the race winners, as well as to the champion of Cambox Mecca Mark III. So hats off to our two primary sponsors, being Amalagata Watches and Cambox Mecca, as Spencer Perot put the hex on him as he slid off the racetrack. I think that was in 5. Just too early, maybe on the power coming out of 5. And has a spin and falls back to 9th now. And also, of course, all the partners of Allenberg Racing Schools, Lansale Tires, Hawk Performance Brakes, Cambox Mecca helps out there as well, Seatbelt and Bell Helmets. As we've had a lot of fun in this championship that started a few weeks ago at Sebring International Raceway, that challenging circuit. The Little Bull Ring at Lime Rock Park, northwest corner of Connecticut. And then here on the West Coast in the beautiful Monterey Peninsula at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for the finale. On board with Chris Roberts, he's in the 110, running 0.4 of a second behind Maximilian Bui is Chris Roberts. And Roberts, who coming into the finale was 6th in the points battle. Meanwhile, working lap number 12 of 19, there's the Amalagata Watches, Amalagata Watches chopper cam, but this is the Cambox Mecca View cam from Chris Roberts, right on that gearbox of Maximilian Bui in the 665. This is out the nose of Chris Roberts, down into turn number 11 and onto the main straightaway. Nice view of the corkscrew there from the bottom of the corkscrew. And here, back to your battle here, as Bui in the red, white, and blue car. And right behind him is Chris Roberts in the 110. This is for 4th, as it's the best race on the track right now between these two, being Chris Roberts in the 110 and Maximilian Bui. Bui from Orange County, California, University of Southern California grad, karting background as well. And Chris Roberts from San Diego, California, video game design specialist, So these two having a lot of fun. They head into the corkscrew. There's your shot from the Lansale Tires blimp. And now from the Malagato Watches chopper cam. And these two having a lot of fun here, heading down into turn number 10. There's turn 10. Into turn number 11. These two cars working their 14th lap of 19. And on to the front straightaway. So the big crowd here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for the finale of our 3-race championship. Seeing a good battle between these two competitors. Out the nose now of Chris Roberts. Bui shuts the door, tracking out of turn number 2 and the run into turn number 3 from the Lansale Tires blimp. Piloted once again by Captain Clark Kent. Want to thank him for his efforts this year, as well as those of Captain Penelope Sweeney piloting our Malagato Watches chopper. And we mentioned the Ellenberg Racing School Stealth Bomber team, the direction of Colonel John Winter, for their efforts. Meanwhile, on track, Bucknam leads by over 6 seconds now, so he's cruising. But your best battle is between this red, white, and blue Dallara of Maximilian Bui and Chris Roberts in the 110. They're about 0.2 of a second separated, but you've got it right now on your screen. Behind them, about 12 seconds back is Mikkel Kalugan, or 12 seconds from the lead is Kalugan, about 6 seconds back from this battle. And then it's Ricardo Arruda, Spencer Perot, Aiden Yoder. Out of the race is Bruno Canero, Thomas Boniface, and the 22 car of Charles Queros. Meanwhile, Maximilian Bui, Chris Roberts. Roberts got around him coming out of the Andretti hairpin, but Bui able to return the favor and get back by as they're into turn number 4. So these two having all kinds of fun. Run down into turn number 5, where the infamous contact back in 1998 took place between Reno Mastronardi, the Italian driver, and Derek Hill, son of Phil Hill, as they're battling for the Barber Dodge Pro Series championship that year. And Hill ran into the back of Mastronardi in 5, broke his car. Hill finished. Mastronardi was out. Hill won the championship. No malicious intent was the determination by the stewards. And Phil Hill's son, Derek, won the championship that year. A bit of trivia that goes in one ear and out the other, many, I'm sure. Regardless, 6 seconds, the lead by Bucknam, as we're working lap number 16 of 19. Bucknam's into turn 6. Meanwhile, this is your battle in the 2. Last time, we lost the lead there to Chris Roberts. This time, we has about a 2-car length lead on Chris Roberts. Love this view here from the Lansale Tires blimp, as you can really see, as well as from the chopper cam here, the Malagato Watches chopper cam. Roberts gets a good run out of turn number 5. Up the hill, turn number 6, he has the inside, but he backs out of it. Oh, well, if he would have stuffed it in there, they might have contact anyway. And it's not the last lap, so no reason to try to pull a Zanardi into the corkscrew. He does take a look here, and will he try to pull an Alex Zanardi, as Zanardi did years ago in the IndyCar race here on Brian Herta, where he drove off the track, drivers right in the corkscrew with the coming down the hill and stole the victory. Meanwhile, out of turn number 11 to complete their 17th or 16th lap, I should say, is Maximilian Bui in the red, white, and blue car. You're not missing anything up front. Bucknam continues to lead by just under 6 seconds over Zach Berg. Berg is in the catbird seat to win the Malagato Watches championship timepiece, the Tifosi Stuttgart brand from Malagato Watches, as well as a Cambox Mecca Mark III for winning the championship. Bucknam in position to win a Cambox Mecha Mark II by winning the race. Anyway, to the corkscrew. Here's your battle for fourth. There's the 110. Looks on the outside of Bui. Need to get a good exit. Roberts got a good exit out of the corkscrew. Much better than Bui through the rainy curve. He takes a peek at 10, but it's really difficult to make a pass at turn 10 here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. As well as at 11, if the driver protects, as Bui did, onto the front straightaway. Now working lap number 18 of 19, as these two continue to have a great battle. They've been at this for about the last 8 or 9 laps. Down the inside, Roberts throws it into the Andretti hairpin. Can he make it stick? And he snookers Bui, and it looks like he's able to make it stick this time. So, great move by Chris Roberts. So Roberts in that 110 gets a brown Maximilian Bui as these two have gotten at it. Now let's see if Bui can return the favor as they battle for fourth. Roberts and Bui, about 0.4 of a second between these two on the track through turn number 6. Got to keep it clean. And they do, as Roberts now leads by about 3 car lengths. As meanwhile, the white flag has been displayed to Jeff Bucknam's son Spencer out front. And he's now in turn number 3. Meanwhile, Berg running in second, Outcut in the 3rd position. We'll keep an eye on that Roberts and Bui battle. That's Chase Outcut running in 3rd. But your best battle on the racetrack continues to be the one between the 110, the black machine, the black Dallara of Chris Roberts and Maximilian Bui in his red, white, and blue car, as they're through the Andretti hairpin. Meanwhile, the leader up the Ray Hall straightaway, a 5-second lead by Bucknam, and there's Spencer Bucknam into the corkscrew for the final time in anger. Is Spencer Bucknam nice and clean through the rainy curve, down into turn number 10, and he's under no pressure here at all, into turn number 11, as clean as can be, as you're riding on board, and he comes with a checkered flag being displayed by Sal, and scoring the win is Spencer Bucknam. Spencer Bucknam scores the win in his Dallara. Finishing in second is Zach Berg. Finishing in third is Chase Altcutt.
Good job, Zach.
And where's your battle? Here's your battle for fourth, and Roberts now out front by about a second. He's into turn number 11 for the final time, and he'll come home in the 4th position is Chris Roberts. He had a great battle with Maximilian Bui. Bui's got nothing to hang his head about as he drove a great race. Finishes in the 5th position. There's Mikkel Kalugan in the red Dallara. He should come home in the 6th spot. Behind him, Adam Golightly, Ricardo Arruda, Spencer Perot will finish in 9th. Aiden Yoder 10th. Bruno Canero, Thomas Boniface, and Charles Quiros rounds out your field. Congratulations, Jeff Bucknam. Let's have to, of course, all these cars have to go through tech and go into the Allenberg Racing School's Grand Prix supercomputer before we declare a champion. But it certainly looks like your champion will be Zach Berg. So Zach Berg, we believe, the young Canadian, will be the champion of Allenberg Racing School's Grand Prix, this 3-race championship. And he'll be awarded a Malgado Watches Tifosi Stuttgart, being Zach Berg. And there's Zach on course. And now he's not on course. But he's unless is Carfails Tech. He'll be your champion. Meanwhile, here's the results of our feature. Spencer Bucknam takes the win. Zach Burke second. Chase Alcutt, Chris Roberts, Maximilian Bui are top 5. Then it's Mikkel Kalugan, Adam Golightly, Ricardo Arruda, Spencer Perot, Aiden Yoder, Bruno Canero, Thomas Boniface, and Charles Quiros rounds out your field here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. We believe Zach Burke has been is declared your champion, winning the points battle. He'll be awarded a Malgado Watches Tifosi Stuttgart, as well as a Cambox Mecca Mark III with 5 million pixels of resolution for being the champion. So we want to thank, of course, everyone at Allenberg Racing Schools for having conducted this championship, not only this race here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, but for an organization that has produced a great championship. Want to thank the partners at Allenberg Racing Schools, Lansale Tires, Hawk Performance, Cambox Mecca, Saybelt, as well as Bell Helmets for all of their help. Fine folks at Delara for providing these race cars. Our flagman Sal did a great job here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Of course, Alan Berg again for putting this all together. The Executive Vice President of Marketing, Jim Bowie, for his help. Alex Berg for his production and direction assistance. And out there in the Vancouver area, Will Maxwell for his tech support. So that will wrap up this 3-race championship. Again, we've had a blast bringing it to you, not only on Twitch, but also on Facebook and YouTube, being the Allenberg Racing Schools Grand Prix. Look forward to seeing all of you down the road, God willing. Take care, everybody. All the best. God bless.